when you tell people you work in health insurance, they're like, I'm so sorry. But health insurance is important. And I think this is a way to bring people in the industry in here to talk to us about the human element behind it as consumers of healthcare. And we're hoping that people laugh, learn, and relate.
Under the Coverage is a weekly podcast with me, Sarah Flusky,
And me, Jolene Myers,
from Nova Healthcare Administrators.
Each episode, we interview people who spend their working days focused on health benefits and healthcare.
We ask them what they know now that they wish every healthcare consumer knew. We're employees, brokers, providers, and vendor solutions, and we want the same thing you do.
To understand how to navigate the healthcare system. That's why we're here. Join us for the tips the insiders share with friends and family, and now they're here to share with you.
Okay, so here we are, Jolene. This is our first podcast ever. So I'm glad that you are with me. I'm glad we're doing this because you and I have talked about doing a podcast for a while and sort of trying to figure out what the right thing is to talk about. And I think we've agreed a number of times that insurance is not an exciting business to be in, but let's not make it boring.
Yeah, so I think that's really the general idea behind this podcast, is just bringing it to real life and trying to relate it to our everyday life. And, nobody likes to talk about health insurance. They usually run away when I say I'm in marketing and we market self-funded insurance, and they don't know what that is and what that means. And they say, why are you in that field? But it is an important one to be in. So here we are, and we're hoping that each week, we bring on guests internally and outside of our company, just people that we've partnered with, that have a lot to say and a lot of brilliant minds and ideas, and want to make a difference in the industry. So we thought about 3 questions of how this will be formatted moving forward with our special guests. And, the 3 questions are: what is something you've learned that has been so helpful you tell everyone about? What have you learned because something went so badly that you warn others? SOS. And then, given what you do, what do your friends and family always come to you for advice about? And so, Sarah, what is something you've learned that has been so helpful you tell everybody about?
Reading an ID card, I think, is something that has changed fundamentally for me since I started working at Nova. I think before it was just something I stuck in my wallet, and it was just sort of the thing you hand over that they make a photocopy of every time you go to a doctor's office. But now looking at it, understanding why is the pharmacy benefit logo different than my, plan logo, and why is it a different phone number, and what's this claims PO box on the back, and why isn't it the physical address of the place where my insurer is, and then so many details. And the out of network stuff, I always assumed that if it was out of network, you were out of network. It just wasn't in network. But there's an out of network. So on the back of our ID cards where we have our out of network benefits, there's a logo for a network for out of network benefits. So now I know that if I'm out of network, so if we're at a hockey tournament in Notre Dame or Cleveland and we need emergency services, that's an exclusion. But if we needed care out of the area and I'm out of network, there is an in-network, out of network, so that at least my cost out of pocket is minimized. And I don't think that's something I realized before. So when you look at your ID card, there's so much information on there that is actually really helpful. That I have in-network benefits and I have a network for in-network. I have out-of-network benefits. I've got an out-of-network network to support me when I travel, and that will save me money from going out of network, out of area.
Yeah.
Was that confusing enough?
No, that's why we're here, to talk about confusing stuff and try to make sense of it all.
What is something you've learned since you've been at Nova that's been so helpful you tell everyone about it?
Go see your doctor every year. It's mind-blowing, I know. No, I think you know, a lot of people avoid that. But, you know, going to get your blood work done really gives you insight into your body. And, you know, there's a variety of factors that go into why our premiums go up every year. People, you know, fist to the sky, get so aggravated and say, why do the insurance premiums keep going up? And, you know, again, the government, big pharmacy, aging population, and our population, you know, just growth in the country and the world. And there's so many factors, but a lot of them are related to catastrophic illness and just trying to avoid those situations whenever possible. So when you talk about preventive care, yeah, not a really exciting topic, but an important one. And, you know, I think that, you know, it can definitely have an impact on the cost. And if you think about, you know, if you have a catastrophic or a chronic illness, you know, if you don't manage it properly, it's going to have an impact on those costs in the long run because you're going to have the long-term care and all the expenses, you know, related to that. So yeah, you know, if you jump through a table at a football game and you break your arm, you talk about ER costs
Yeah.
and urgent care
Well,
costs and
urgent care. Yeah. If you're going to save money, if you're going to save money, go to urgent care.
right.
Orthopedic urgent care, though.
So obviously everybody has choices. So, you know,
Yeah.
could you have saved some, you know, money if you didn't jump through a table after too many
Yes.
pops at a game? You
Yes.
know, yeah. But so I think as people age off their parents' plan and you get older and, you know, um, DNA and genetics start kicking in, and there's some things that you can't control and others that you can't. It's just, it makes you look at health and wellness through a different lens. Sarah,
Absolutely. I'm excited to hear what the rest of the people have to say.
me too. And I hope their episodes are better than this one, but hey, you got to start somewhere.
And we can take questions too, right?
Yeah, we've got a Twitter handle. We're on the Twitter.
The Twitter.
It's under the coverage. But under is spelled wrong on purpose. We couldn't use, there's too many characters in under the coverage. So
The
it's
limit.
UNDR. It was done on purpose, grammar nerds. Don't police us. Um, under the coverage. Yeah, so follow us and ask questions. So here we are. It's episode 1 of Under the Coverage. And initially, I think it was like, who would listen to a podcast about health insurance in their free time? The bottom line is, I think Sarah and I decided we wanted to try to change that answer because most people would say, oh,
It's awful.
I don't want to listen to a podcast about this. So I think it's important to talk about, you know, this was not created with sales in mind.
No.
There's not a hidden agenda, but it was designed to be a resource. And that's something that I think is really important to us. It's human to human, not business to business. Because we've all been there.